I've done this, and we've inaugurated students of mine and athletes that I've coached, and it's tough. You feel old, and so thank you, 80s class, because tonight I don't feel quite as old. You are. Hey, that's a whole 10 years older than you, Mark. Just saying. But in all honesty, apparently there's no party like an 80s party. You guys have turned out, and make sure we keep it in the land of celebration that it is tonight. I'm happy to be a part of it. To get us started and introduce and bring up our principal, Mr. Victor Seton.
All right, good evening, everyone. You guys hear me fine? All right. You might get a prize, so pay attention. Well, welcome. My name is Victor Seton, and I am the principal of Seton Catholic. I have served in this role for the past 6 years. This event is one of my favorite for the year. Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment and remember all our servicemen and women of the military. In a special way, when you have time, pray for them. Pray for God's grace and blessings to be with them now and always, especially on today, on this Veterans Day. We celebrated Veterans Day yesterday with a rosary for our nation. One of our current parents is a lieutenant colonel, and he provided a reflection for our student body. The reflection was on what courage means to him. And he spoke about the courage to give your all each and every day. He spoke about the courage to wake up the next day with the intention of giving 100%, knowing that the previous day you failed to do so. I can't help but think how this applies to our inductees tonight. Your individual journeys to the Hall of Fame required a lot of courage, a lot of faith, love, and determination that only you and your closest family members and friends know. But you chose every day to wake up and answer that call. And tonight we recognize those efforts. The Seton Catholic Hall of Fame is meant to honor members of our community who have accomplished extraordinary feats and who have brought distinction, honor, and excellence to Seton because of it. It honors those who inspire and motivate excellence from our current students by exemplifying a life of service and achievement. Our Hall of Fame highlights the best of the Sentinel community. Wendy James, Fred and Laura, the example of service and leadership you provide is inspiring to students and to adults alike. So the Contreras family. The Sentinel community joins you in honoring the excellence in athletics that Martin proudly demonstrated while representing Seton Catholic. To all of our inductees, we are honored by your presence here tonight. We thank you for being part of this, being part of the Sentinel community. I want to thank everyone who's in attendance tonight, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. I would like to thank our staff who put a lot of effort, time, and energy into tonight. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, the Hall of Fame members who are in attendance, and of course our lovely student ambassadors who took time out of their Saturday to be here tonight. With that, may God continue to bless us all, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's program.
Such a small school, but such a strong and large community. And this Hall of Fame started a while ago now. And what's, I think, the coolest thing to see is how the Hall of Fame grows. And in its growth, the participation in the community, that sense of belonging to really an elite group of people that have been inducted, and to see so many come back every year. So I just want to start with quick recognition. If you are an inducted member of Seton's Hall of Fame, would you please stand and be recognized? Okay, our first recognitions tonight are for its Distinguished Alumnus Awards. Really, I could read what's in the agenda, but you're all capable of doing that. The translation is, we're really proud that these people graduated from Seton and are doing what they're doing. And it's such an honor to know both inductees for the Distinguished Alumnus Award personally on several levels, and it's a great honor. So, to introduce our first inductee, Miss Rindy Eubanks Garcia, are her beautiful daughters, Retta and Shay.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. I'm Retta Eubanks, and this is my sister Shay. In a minute, we're going to tell you all about our mom, Rindy Eubanks, who's being inducted into the Hall of Fame today for her long-term and intense dedication to Seton Catholic, joining our Aunt Debbie, our Daddy Michael, our Uncle Chris, and lots of other people in this room that mean a lot to us, as well as all of today's inductees. In a second, we'll tell you all about the numbers that explain and define Mom's experience and everything that she's given to Seton. But she's also been my mom for 24 years, and Shay's mom for 23. And her dedication to Seton has been instilled in us and is why we're here today. And we're so glad she's finally being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
So in order to really understand and appreciate the reason our mom is being honored here today, we have to play a little numbers game. I've never been very good at math, so please bear with me. Let's start small. With her recent 2 years as the vice principal at St. Mary Baptist Catholic School, her two amazing, perfect daughters, who are also alum, 4 years here as a student, as well as the last 3 serving on the Board of Trustees. Now a little bigger. Her 4 years in the Booster Club, 6 years on the Parents Association Board, 7 years as a cheer coach, and lastly, the bigger numbers that share the true heart of her commitment. Again, 24 years being a mom to my sister, and 23 being a mom to me. 32 years of teaching. That's crazy. At the same school. Okay. 100 probably soundproof tiles and 1,000 bricks that she put up in the gym. Those numbers are thanks to Miss Karen Self. And I bet over 5,000 letters of recommendation to students, both past, current, and future, for Seton. All adding up to 4 decades of involvement and devotion to Seton, which cannot be overstated. And even as her work as teacher and principal allows her to advocate for Catholic schools and contribute directly to Seton. Finally, crazily, her dedication has only increased as my sister and I have left. She decided, we left, and she just wants to take on more work. So again, she joined the Board of Trustees, and her dedication increased even more.
Mom is clearly very dedicated to Seton, but for years she's been hesitant to accept induction into the Hall of Fame because she wasn't sure she deserved it. While we all think she deserved it several years ago, if not more, we are so proud of everything she's done for Seton and for the recognition that she's finally getting, finally accepting that she so deserves for all of that work and for her dedication to support this place that we love because of her. Congratulations, Mom. We love you.
1 And now, the woman of the hour, please come up and say a few words for us.
Thank you. I want to start with thank you. And I don't like this. This is the whole reason I didn't want to do this. Is this whole speech part is the worst. A good friend of ours, Tom Giacobi, just told me, just pretend they're 5-year-olds. You do that all day. And so I told him, well, if everyone would just sit crisscross in front of me, we'd be set. But I don't think that's going to happen, so I'm going to just forge ahead. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee. Thank you to everyone that came today to support not just myself, but all of the inductees. I feel honored and privileged to be recognized along with such a great group of Seton alum and supporters. I'm especially fortunate to be inducted this year with my friend James. He sets the example of what it means to be a Seton grad and live a life of service to others. I also look to the DeCaros as a model of unselfish giving of time and talent to better the Seton community. The duty to give back to others is certainly the most prevalent lesson I learned at Seton. The Seton Catholic Hall of Fame recipients of past are true examples of people whose lives are dedicated to service to others, and I'm humbled to be named among them. I think it goes without saying that Seton has a very special place in my heart, and it has for a very, very long time. I'm proud to be a Seton graduate. I'm proud to have been a Seton cheer coach and a St. Mary Basha teacher administrator. I sent that shirt in and that photo specifically to give a plug to St. Mary Basha. Because it really has a very special place for me. I'm very pleased and proud to be a Seton Catholic Prep Board of Trustees. And I'm proud of the legacy left by my husband, Michael Eubanks. A little bit off script, but when even this morning getting ready, or this afternoon thinking about why am I still here? Because there's plenty of people that come and send their kids and go on with their lives and don't necessarily come back. But I think that was truly the example set by Michael. He loved who we are and instilled that in me and certainly in the girls. The thing I am most proud of is to be the mother of my daughters. They embody the strength, intelligence, kindness, beauty, and maturity far beyond their years. The influence of Seton on our family is ever present in the two of them, and I know Michael looks on them each day with wonder and pride. And again, a little off script, but you got to meet in a formal way Victor Cerna. And I can't say enough about the impact that he's had on Seton. And I appreciate where Seton's going, and I'm very proud to be part of the Board of Trustees and be kind of on the behind-the-scenes part of that, because he has a great vision for Seton. And if you haven't had a chance to meet Victor, I think it's important that you do so if you love Seton. And then I also want to say something to Karen, because we're kind of in it together. We were hired the same year as coaches at Seton, and I appreciate her legacy here and her commitment to what the tradition of Seton is. And it makes me very happy and proud to be part of Victor and Karen and all the people that love and care about where Seton's going and where it has been. Thank you again to everyone that's here today to celebrate me, my girls, and my dad and mom, to my sisters and nieces, and my very best friends, all of you here today, and to my husband, thank you, and I love you all.
Note on photos, after, we are going to ask that we get each inductee up for photos along with their family and friends. And so that'll be at the end, and we'll have it coordinated somehow. All right? Well, thank you, Randy. So you and James were in the same class? So, Coach Eubanks, did he pick on you? Oh, yeah, okay. Just, I had a suspicion.
So anyway, he's not only my favorite person in the world, he's been my husband for 27 years. He's given me 3 beautiful children, Hallie, Ryan, and Riley. Hallie couldn't be here, she's in Canada. When we first met, I really thought God made a mistake. Because, and I think one of my sisters told me that too, like, how'd you get him? Because he's such a good person, and if you know him, you know that. There's someone in the fire department who would always call him St. James. And I really believe he lives up to that sainthood. He was someone who brought me back into my Catholic faith. I was raised Catholic and then we kind of went away from it. He brought me back into my faith. And he probably taught me the epitome of being selfless. And I think our kids know that too. I said he's not only, or was not only a wonderful son to his parents, Jan and Bob, God rest their souls. He's a wonderful person to other family members and friends. If you need James, call James. James will be there. If you're in the hospital, James will be there. He will always spend time and take time out for other people. He spent today with his little brother, because he's part of Big Brother and Big Sisters. He likes to give back. He feels that's what his journey is. I said, I guess the first time I was ever introduced to Seton Catholic, of course I knew his major friends because we got married, but he had his 10-year class reunion in whatever that would be, when we graduated, 1887 to 97, and it was so amazing to me. I grew up in a larger school. I was in public school, and I would go to this class reunion, and there's 40 people. That's it. And I was like, where are the rest of them? He goes, no, they're all here. And they all showed up. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And I got to know even more people, like Rindy, like Amy, who I didn't know from before. And I tell you, all these friends, and Kelly can tell you, Kelly Adela, we are spoiled. These friends of theirs have become friends of ours who have become our family. And so that's what Seton does. It's a family. And so I think the education that he got at Seton was exceptional, obviously. He was able to play sports when sometimes people can't play sports in their schools. And he was allowed to be able to give back to the school. And I don't know how many years he's been doing it. I lost count, you guys. But he has been coaching our kids since they were little in volleyball. Who he never had a background in volleyball, but he wanted to do it. And helping our son out in baseball. But he became an assistant coach at Seton for volleyball, and now currently is the head coach. And the beauty of it is our daughter, Riley, coaches with him. So I love that part of it. But when you talk about people why they become coaches, everybody has their own reasons to do it. And some might be, I love competition. I want to win. James tells me every day, I do it because I want to make young girls better women. I want them to have self-esteem. He goes, I want them to give back to other people. And that's why he does it. So, as I said, I keep thinking God kind of made a mistake that he gave him to me. But I realized over time that God gives you what you need. And he knew I needed James. And our kids needed him because he's a wonderful person. So, before I cry, I just want to introduce my husband, my favorite person in the world. I love you, James Johnson.
All right. So not only do I have to follow my lovely wife and Randy and all of you, but thank you. So I'm going to try and get through this. Old age has gotten me very emotional, so wow. I love you, thank you. And Shay and Retta, you know, I love you guys. Great job, and Randy. I I kind of want to start. Miss Seton too. I see you at the events and all the community things, and we know who makes it special, so thank you. Yes. And how about the food? Red Devil? The food. Give it up for the food. Awesome. What's that? But thank you for the Seton leadership, the teachers, the coaches that are out there. For myself, Mr. Mullen, I don't think he's here tonight, but he was one of my coaches and teachers, and just an amazing group of people. Again, thanks to my wife, Riley and Ryan. You guys are awesome. You know that. Thank you. My class of '87 friends. You guys are great. It's just special what Seton has given me. My very close friends, Kathy and Roger, are here today. My parents they're here in spirit, but they're here there as well. So, thank you guys. It's wonderful to be amongst this Hall of Fame group. It's just crazy, surreal, and it's very humbling. And it's also very humbling to be nominated with Randy, my very close friend. And so many of these people in here, we don't talk, but man, when we get together, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. We just pick up. And it's been a special ride that God has given me. God has given me a special ride and a lot of special people, a lot of people in this group. But the Seton community and my parents getting me here is what started it. The Seton community is just absolutely amazing. And it's given me the journey to just give back to this community and be the best person I can be. And right along with that is the fire department. They're sitting over here at the table over here, and I didn't know they were going to be here. We have so much in common. The fire department and what Chief Carmelli brings us and senior staff there, and all of their wives and husbands, and it's just special. And it's the same thing there as it is at Seton, and I love it. And I'm just proud to serve on both places. And I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I just want to take a couple moments to just focus on the current teachers and coaches that are in the room. You guys are special. You had a huge impact in my life, and I know you're impacting kids' lives right now. And you don't know it, but you really are. You're making them better people. So thank you for being here. Thank you for serving them. I have on my list Karen as well. She just doesn't know. She had a huge impact on all my kids. And you do, and I appreciate you. Just like Randy talked about. I'm getting close to the end here, so but I want to just quote something from the Bible that the volleyball kids just introduced me to years ago, and it's Philippians 4:13, and it says, "I can do all things through Christ." They write that on their arms every time, and that's really makes me every day makes me get through all the good and the bad, and so I'm very happy with all those girls. Fia's back here. She's serving. She's giving up her time and her friends, and I appreciate you and all that you guys do. So I just want to thank the volleyball players coming through our program. They really made me better, and I hope I have them, and all the people that are involved with that. John Harrison back here, who's here, and just a big inspiration in my life. He's here way more than any of us, and you guys know he gives back, and he has a few choice words for me I like to joke about all the time, but I love it. I love the honesty. He was that way when I was 14, 15 coming into the school. He said the same words to me, and I appreciate it. Kind of like you Banks and Donald here too. Thanks for everybody who has given me this foundation to make me who I am, and this is the Seton community, and that's why I keep coming back, just like Randy. I won't leave, and you and your kids and this community is why. just trying to give back, and just like you guys are doing. So please keep doing the great work you guys are doing. And again, thank you for this honor. I really appreciate it. And I love you all. And Leah, where's Leah at? Love you. You're awesome.
Before she was married to me, no one knew anything about that. Just saying. Thank you. That's true. And now, oh, you must be Leah's husband. All right. For the next part of our induction, we are going to recognize Fred and Laura DeCaro for distinguished service. You know, it's a fine line between crazy and dedicated. You're okay. You are on the dedicated side of it still. And you know, there's apparently, you know, you just have to get on the mic for games on Friday night in a couple of years, and you'll be in the Hall of Fame, because I think you're the second one, Fred. But you know, it's fun when I can tell personal little stories about inductees, and sometimes I wonder how crazy this life is that I get to be such a part of little things. And you know, I can't remember what I had for breakfast sometimes, but I can remember the first time I met Fred and Laura DeCaro. And my family was at Sal's Pizza in Gilbert. I don't remember what I had, but pretty sure it was a big old pizza, beer, and wings. And I saw this rather large young man as a football coach wearing a private school uniform polo. And as Leah will attest, that never, it's always my cue to go introduce myself to somebody and let them know that, you know, you should probably think about playing football at Seton Catholic. And I don't know, that's all I remember. I remember meeting you guys, I remember saying hey, and then it was a year later, you guys were here. Just as kind of I was taking a break, and I came back, and the Carls are still going strong, and got to coach with Roman this year, and kind of bring it full circle, and it's been an amazing experience, and what a blessing you guys are to the Seton community. Okay, so with all of that, Roman, Noah, come and introduce us to your parents.
It's not wasting paper. Okay, thank you to Mr. Coaches for introducing the introduction. Very special moment. But what can't you say about Fred and Laura DeCaro? I mean, 2 St. Luke's and Seton awards, 150 passing touchdowns, 6,000 passing yards, Hall of Fame members, am I right? Just kidding. But on a serious note, what can't you say about Fred and Laura DeCaro? Hardworking, compassionate, and that willingness to go the extra mile. Growing up, I was always called a little bit of an overachiever, and I really think that was my parents living through me, telling me to go beyond, to, you know, get that extra point, whatever may have you. And I know me and Roman probably have a special kind of bias when it comes to these two individuals, but I think everyone that has come across them while they're at Seton and has interacted with them can attest that their lives have been made better in some way by my mom and dad. And I want to thank you two personally on behalf of myself and all the other students who you've made their lives better and more enriched. Thank you. Ti amo sempre.
Like Noah said, our parents have spent many hours here enriching the Seton community, even after we were gone. I came back and more people seem to know my mom and my dad than me or Noah. But we thank you as your children that you served us when we were here. You continue to serve the Seton community because Seton means a lot to us, and it's certainly meant a lot to you guys. For those of you who don't know, neither of our parents are from Arizona. My mom's originally from Canada, and when they moved out to Arizona, they had no relation to the high schools here or to any of the schools here. And I'm pretty sure, Mr. Coaches, that I was going to say yes no matter what, because but we went to St. John Bosco, and there's a couple Catholic high schools, but I wanted to go to Seton, and my parents were like, all right, let's do it. And we ended up at Seton. They've been here serving ever since. And we, like I said, we can't thank you enough. Whether going back to our days at youth ball with making sure we had the matching socks, or making sure our helmets had the right decals on it, whatever it was, but you guys were always there. Whether my dad was coaching or my mom was the team mom, she was always helping, and that continued over to Seton. The last thing I want to say is, I've always thought that our parents' desire to serve was just to help us, me and Noah. Maybe that was a little selfish of me to believe that. But I think as I was reflecting on this, it really comes down to the fact that they just care. They care about the school, they care about the kids here, they could care that this place continues to grow, continues to get better. And we're so grateful that the love that our parents were able to show us, they've been able to spread to everyone here. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our parents, Fred, Laura, and Carl.
Alright, so unlike Randy, James, I did not write anything down. So this is going to be totally off the cuff. Yeah, let me see what that says. So, and of course, Fred said to me, I'm not talking, so you have to say it. So,
His voice is a little hoarse from football.
Yeah, that's it. So, I will start by saying thank you to Dr. Serna, to Randy, to James, to the other inductees. Much exactly like Randy said, I did not want to say yes to this, because I would rather just kind of stand behind this curtain and just let things happen. But we're honored beyond words to be standing here, so thank you to everybody. I will tell you, I will finish Matt's story by saying, yes, we were standing in line at Sal's Gilbert Pizza getting ready to order, and he took one look at Roman and said, "You're going to play football at Seton, right?" And Roman said to him, "Yes, sir, I am." And then he lifted his shirt to show his Seton hoodie underneath it. So he already had that on. So, but that was our first foray into Seton, was Matt coaches. So, as he said, it's come full circle since they coached together this year. So that was awesome. But, so I will tell you a funny story. A couple of months ago, my phone rings and it says Victor Serna. And my first thought is, which one of my kids is in trouble? And then I was like, oh wait a minute, no, my kids aren't students here anymore. I'm in trouble, like what happened? So he says to me, are you with Fred right now? I said, no, I'm at work, I'm just getting ready to leave. Fred's on his way home. I said, is something wrong? No, I need to talk to you, but I need to talk to you with Fred there. I'm like, okay. All right. So he goes, can you call me when you're together? Okay. So I think that I'm like, what did I do? I'm in trouble. Oh my God. So I get in the car, I call Fred. I go, where are you? He said, I'm almost home. I said, all right, Victor Serna just called. I tell him the conversation. He goes, are we fired? I'm not sure, but I think we're in trouble. So I get home, and I don't think I had a toe in the door. And he says to me, call Victor right now. Like right now, don't even wait. So I call Victor, and both at the same time. Are we in trouble? Are we fired? What did we do? And he starts laughing, and he's like, no. So then he so graciously asked us if we would accept this award. And we obviously, who says no to Victor Serna? So we are thankful and grateful for that. But to Roman's and know what they said. You know, we started out here as freshman parents, and when I look around the room, Stephanie was so glad when she said she would come. When I thought about it, Stephanie and I have known each other for 20 years because Roman and her daughter went to preschool together at St. Anne's. And then they kind of separated, and then they showed back up here together. And there are other people in this room that are exactly the same. And when I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was 20 years ago. How can that possibly be? But then I think about, Roman started here in 2014. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's 9 years. And people say to me all the time, boy, your son graduated in 2018? Yes. Your other son graduated in 2020? Yes. Why are you still here? Well, because I want the kids that graduate after that to have the same experience that they did and to make every day better. And Fred feels the same way. And when he had knee surgery a month ago, total knee replacement on his knee.
I had to schedule it according to law.
Yes. No, it wasn't around this. He goes, wait, the doctor said he has these dates. I go, no, there's a football game on that day. No. You can choose this one, or this one. He's like, oh, let me call her back.
I did manage to crawl up the stairs and call the game.
So he said, I'm going to have to miss one game. I'm like, that's okay. This is the kind of place this is. I said, you have to miss one game? I texted Coach Shoebridge, who's the track and field coach, and I said, Jim, Fred can't call the game on Friday night. Can you call the game for Fred? He goes, yes, absolutely. What do I need to do? I sent him an email with the whole thing, which he printed out, and he came on Friday, and he goes, I got everything. I can do this. And so that's the kind of place this is. And I will tell two short stories. So when Roman graduated, the following year he was at ASU. It was in the fall. And when the kids were here, we downloaded Life 360 on all our phones. I think most people know what that is, the app. We could track everybody, right? So when we did that, Fred set a tone for Seton. So when anybody comes or goes from Seton, our phones make that noise. So all of a sudden my phone made this noise. I'm like, who is at Seton? Nobody's at Seton. So it was like maybe October something. So I look at my phone and it says, Roman arrived at Seton. Why is Roman at Seton? He's at ASU. What is he doing at Seton? So Fred calls me. Why is Roman at Seton? I don't know. So I text him and he doesn't answer. So he's here for like 2 hours. He finally calls me. I said, well, what are you doing at Seton? Oh, I came to sit in Mr. Hart's class. I said, Mr. Hart's class? Social studies. I said, you don't go to Seton anymore. He goes, I know, but I wanted to sit in his class because I love Mr. Hart and I love that class. He sat through 2 of his classes in the back of the room. And I said to him, did the kids wonder who the bearded guy at the back of the room was? He said, well, no, not until none of them could answer his question. And he goes, just a minute. Roman, do you know the answer to this question? Because then they all started to wonder. So I laughed and I thought, oh my gosh, how many schools could that happen? Where he would just come back out of the blue and sit in a teacher's class for 2 hours. So the following year, had a similar situation. All of a sudden, my phone, I'm like, why is no one answering? So I do the same thing, he doesn't answer. An hour later, Noah calls. No, what are you doing at Seton? Oh, Mr. B called me, wants to know if I'd like to coach the new esports program. What? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, I told him I'm going to. I go, you're going to coach esports? Yes. So I'm like, okay. So he was here every day after school with those kids in the esports room. Coach, and I laughed. I go, you're not coaching. You're playing video games. That's not coaching. And then Coach Walheim says, yeah, with my luck, Noah's going to win a state championship before I do. And I laughed because Noah took his team to the state championship. no special places like this, where the kids can come and go like this, where parents, after the kids have graduated for years, are still welcome here, and where everybody is still friends. And my kids on a Friday night, where are you going? Oh, I'm gonna hang out with Vincent and Max and Dylan and all the kids I went to school with here. No, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm gonna see Esteban and Dominic and all the kids I went to school here, and they're still friends. And we're still friends with all the parents. Those are our friends. And so I want to thank Seton for that opportunity, because without Seton, we wouldn't have all of the memories that we do. And so I say thank you to that. And I will tell you one more fun story that I'll go. About a month and a half ago, I was setting up concessions out at the football stadium, had the doors open, and the football team was running back and forth. And one of the players ran past, and he said, "Hi, Mr. Carr." And I said, "Hi, Nick." And he ran past, and then he came back. And he looked at me, and he goes, "Mr. Carr, did you get your hair done?" And I said, "Yes, Nick, I did." I said, "Does it look okay?" "It looks lovely." And I thought to myself, how many 16-year-old boys at a non-Seton school would have just noticed that I got my hair done and told me it looked lovely? So, and he said, "Joe," wherever they are. That was Nick Bumgates. So I will just say, it's a special place, and I'm grateful, my friends are grateful that we're still here. So.
So Laura, what do I need to do to my hair to get Nick to pay attention?
I'll give you the big one, my style.
I'm just kidding. Nick does great for us. All right. Our final inductee this evening is being recognized as a Distinguished Athletic Award recipient. And there are not a lot of those. I never knew Martin, just from what I've read. And, you know, I'm an athletics kind of guy, and I just love watching our athletes compete, and especially the special ones. I've seen some special ones. And I hear about the special athletes from the 80s. Man, would I have loved to have met him and witnessed this. And I'm looking forward to hearing about Martin. Frederick.
He's asking me if I need a water or something. I go, "Do you have a shot of tequila?" Thank you very much. My name is Freddie. I'm from the class of '85. I'm presenting Brother Martin Contreras into the Hall of Fame for distinguished athlete. It's a big honor to induct Martin. There's so many things I can say about him, about his legacy here at Seton, how he represented the Seton High School boys basketball. Just to get to his stats, he kept like a photo album of every clipping there was. So it was kind of nice every night. His son came over, brought it to me. I was getting all the information I wanted to get out of it, just to let you guys know how special this guy was. His sophomore year, Martin was all-conference selection. He was recognized by the coach for the most valuable player in defense. Only a sophomore. His junior year, he was the first team all-conference, first team all-state, and Arizona Republic all-valley first team. Most valuable player at Seton. His senior year, again, all-conference first team, all-state Class C first team, Arizona Republic, all-class, classes from Class C to AA, first team. He was player of the year for small schools. He represented the North and there is a monster game. Not bad for, I think it was 5'8". In my opinion, he's the best boys basketball player that ever come out of Seton Catholic. I used to love to watch him. I mean, I got to play with him, but he played ball. Beautiful shot. I kind of spent the last couple of weeks thinking, well, I could say, well, the real question is why do you really have to ask yourself this? There's a lot to say about this guy. I called some of his teammates. I called Joe Carrera and I said, hey, Joe, because in my opinion, I'm biased as my brother. I'm going to tell you that he's the greatest ever. And Joe tells me, you know what? He goes, what I seen in Martin, he was a straight killer out there. He was telling me some incidents where we were playing and they're throwing, the other team is throwing box 1, triangle 2, sometimes 3 on 2. I mean, our job basically, because I played with him, was to get the rebound and make sure we give him the outlet because he's going to score. He got that look in his eyes and, man, he was going to get the line. It was an honor. He brought a lot of publicity to see. I mean, I remember as a freshman, he was a junior, and I sat there. So I used to set myself up like perfectly in the angle where I think Martin had his favorite spot to shoot, right? Just because I knew the Arizona Republic was going to be there. So maybe if they got that shot, I would get in that picture. But he was an all-around player. Great defense. I mean, stats, you guys have seen the stats. Some of you guys haven't seen it. He's, on the paper it says he averaged 26. I have a booklet, Arizona booklet. He's on the Arizona all-time scoring. He averaged 28 points. He was under great NBA players like Mark Larry, Lafayette, Weaver, so. And he probably would have averaged a lot more because we didn't have three-point line. He played again, 5'8", but everybody was afraid of him. When you go to schools and rival schools, first thing you look in the wall is a Seton hanging with Martin's uniform number. And everybody just wanted to get to him. But, I tell my brothers, man, it was great to play with him. It was an honor to play with him. And I'm proud to be able to present this to his kids. Martin, Mateo, and Micaela, and I'd like my brother Bobby come up with this big thing.
I also wrote stuff on my phone because if you do this, hello, my name is Bobby Contreras. I'm Martin's older brother, class of '79. Woo woo. It's funny because as I was walking up here, I said, "You're speaking from Martin." So that'll be the last whoop whoop for his. You know, as a sophomore, they turned over the program to him. And that's leading upperclassmen. And there's a special type of person that could do that. Martin was that person. I know he would thank his teammates and his friends, and he wouldn't, and when he had those opportunities to talk about those days, he never talked about how many points he scored or what great defensive play he made. He always talked about the bus rides, you know, to and from the games, and listening to music and hanging out with his friends. He would recognize his friends. He probably would give a shout out to his teachers who kept them in line, and proof was he was in national honors at his first senior year. And of course, he would thank his family. He probably would say, if it wasn't for Bobby, I wouldn't become the bell player I was. But he would definitely look at our brothers and sister and say the person he was because of us. And most importantly, he would look at his kids, Seton, Mateo, and Mika, and talk about them and talk about his 5 March and how he loved them. He would look at you with pride as he accepted this award, hoping that you would have pride in him too. That was Martin. He always deflected his achievements to our family and his friends. A few years ago, Andres was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And as me and him sat to the side, I asked him, you know, little brother, you should be in the Hall of Fame. He said, it'll happen. But as he walked away, Andres said, it'll happen, but right now it's about Andres. Because right before, as he walked away, he turned around with a little smirk on his face, and he says, as long as you and my brothers know I was the best in the family, that's right. I was remembering that yesterday, it made me laugh, and then I cried. But there's a poem I want to share with you. It's called The Dash by Lyndon Ellis. And every time I read this poem, I think of my brother. It goes, I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that the first came the date of his birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For the dash represents all the time that he spent alive on earth. And not only those who loved him know what the little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the home, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our cash. Again, I'm honored to accept this from our team. Being inducted into any Hall of Fame is an honor, but being inducted into the Seton High School Hall of Fame is a little bit better. I'm 100% confident they always say he'd be grateful and humbled by this recognition. I speak for myself, his kids, my family, and I want to thank you guys for making his dash part of Seton history. Thank you.
in closing, you know, it's just amazing. I've probably said some of this before, so if you've been to these before, just go along with it. It's become real clear to me in the last year, and I've had this conversation a few times, that what makes this place special is the love that people share through sacrifice. And that's what I believe is really what we're called to as Catholics and followers of Christ, is to love in the way he did, which was sacrifice. This place is built on sacrifice. I've been privileged to experience it as a student and be a part of it as a faculty, as a coach, and I'm humbled because just when you start to think, man, we do a lot for that place, and then you meet people that have been doing it forever, and just, it's such a reminder of the dedication and the love that people have for Seton and what makes this place so special. At the same time, if this brought you back and you want to get involved, please do, because there's a lot of work to go around. Laura's probably happy to give away 10 projects, I'm sure. Cut her workload by 10%. But there is so much to be done, and in the world that we're in, Seton has become quite the beacon in the East Valley. So many stories. Sometimes the further away you get, the more stories and the more you actually hear that's out there in the world. And it's just a privilege and honor to be part of such a wonderful community. Thank you to everyone here for everything you do to make it so wonderful.